This is Unaffected. Welcome to Unaffected, a podcast that offers a curated look at some obscure, forgotten, and neglected singers of the mid-20th century. I'm your host, Ethan Stoller, and I'm directly not passing go, gonna start with some music. This is by our featured singer today, Ann Polk. She's so great, one of the great jazz singers of all time. I'm gonna be yammering for a few minutes, so I wanted to get the music jamming so you don't leave while it's just me talking for a minute. So this is from 1948, Ann Polk, You Know What the Trouble Is, Baby, with Tommy Dorsey. Enjoy.
You know what the trouble is, baby. You know what the trouble is, baby. You know you're in trouble now, baby. You've been straying from the fold every night. I know that your kiss is much colder. I know that you're longing to hold her. I know, but I don't want to scold you. You've been playing where you're staying, all right. So,
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, if you heard that and be like, I don't like her that much, we probably have different tastes and you might want to find a different podcast to listen to. But you'll be in the minority because big unaffected news is that we've expanded beyond just Apple Podcasts to Spotify and YouTube and a few other places. So we're easier to access. And whoa, there's like quintuple the number of people started subscribing monthly. So I don't know if they're human beings or bots or how it works because I don't know if they're actually listening. So if you're a human being, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. And if you're a bot, 110010110001. Understood. Another cool thing about checking like the numbers is you get to see all the sources of the different countries around the world that are tuning in, and it's mostly USA. But wow, there's like just every continent is represented, and it's just cool. And if you are listening internationally, I want you to know that everyone I know and many, many people in the USA are horrified by what's happening with our government right now. And I'm sorry. We're so embarrassed and ashamed and enraged, and we're figuring it out. We're going to get through this with joy and action and music, and that's why we're here today. So Ann Polk actually is one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast. When I started sharing my musical opinions publicly, it was a few years ago in a blog. It was called The Miner Goes Muggin', and I was focused on instrumental music, big band music mostly. But Ann Polk was a singer with big bands, and there was a CD I had where she was singing with the great Les Brown Band, and mixed with these great instrumentals were also these vocals, and the vocals blew me away because she is just sensational. So I'm going to give her the full like chronological biographical treatment today. Just to get the full scope of her career, which did not last that long, actually. So she was born in Idaho, as most great jazz singers are, and grew up in Spokane, Washington, in a very musical family. She had 3 siblings, and together they formed a harmony group called, creatively, the Four Pokes. Ann was the youngest, and they would give her these tiny little solo parts. None of the other kids really had solos, but they would give Ann these little lines to sing. It wasn't full choruses. I'll play you a quick example. This is actually a video of, you could see it on YouTube. It's a song called Miss You, and in addition to singing harmonies and these tiny lead parts, Lucienne also gets up and plays a vibraphone solo in the middle of this song. So just very cool, very jazzy. This is Miss You, the Four Pokes. Enjoy.
Nothing I do, baby, can make me forget. I'll be lonely, so lonely I'll be blue for you. I kiss you, in my dreams I kiss you. Whispering, darling, how I miss you. Really.
So starting as early as 1936, I read, Lucy Ann and her siblings had a radio show in Spokane that had some degree of popularity. And I think this is my own personal, I just came up with this. It might be crackpot, but I think that's why she developed such an intimate relationship with the microphone when she sings. So if you're a singer who's raised, doing Broadway shows or, the school play or even singing live in front of a big audience, you're having to project more, or at least you feel you might need to be heard. But if from the age of 9 years old, you're part of a harmony group where you shouldn't really stand out unless it's your turn to sing solo, and you're also have a microphone right in front of you without any noise, you might learn how to sing really nicely in a quieter, more reserved way and really work that microphone to your advantage. So the Four Pokes, two of the siblings dropped out. They became the Town Criers, and they became kind of a hot item amongst some big bands. And then Kay Kaiser, who was a very popular big band leader, brought them on, and then Lucienne on as a solo singer. And this next track is a great example of what I'm talking about. Listen to the way she enunciates quietly around every word, but not over-enunciate. And her intonation is perfect. The diction is just right. It's not too much. It's not too little. And her tone is on point. I love this track. This is called On the Wrong Side of You, 1946. Lucienne Polk with Kay Kaiser. Enjoy.
I butter the right side of my bread. Get up on the right side of my bed. But baby, 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 no matter what I do, I'm on the wrong side of you. I live on the right side of the street. I dance on the right side of my feet. But baby, 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 no matter what I do, I'm on the wrong side of you. What can
Not too bad for a 19-year-old singer, I gotta say. Love it. So from Kay Kaiser, Lucienne moved on to the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, who we heard at the very top of this episode, and then moved on again to the Les Brown Orchestra, which I also mentioned. And that's where she really started to make a mark as far as the wider public, and people started to know her name as a celebrity. Let's play a song from that era, which is where I discovered her. This is a great up-tempo jazzy track called Them Their Eyes from 1949.
I fell in love with you first time I looked into them their eyes. You've got a certain little cute way of flirting with them their eyes. They make me feel happy, they make me blue. No stalling, I'm falling in a great big way for you. My heart is thumping, you sure started something with them their eyes. You'd better watch 'em if you're wise. They sparkle, they bubble, they'll get you in a whole lot of trouble. There's danger lurking in your overworking 'em, them their eyes.
So from the success with the Les Brown Orchestra, Lucienne Polk finally recorded her first solo record, meaning she was on a lot of records before, but her name was in small print under the orchestra leader's name. But finally, in 1950, she got to be in the big print, and one side of the single was called Don't Do Something to Someone Else. And Billboard's very succinct review says, "Didactic ditty affords a tidy jazz-tinged vehicle for the promising chirp." Now, I've seen a lot of these old Billboard reviews always refer to female singers as canaries or thrushes, but you don't see chirp as often as the noun. The other side of the single was a song which I consider a standard now, but actually was a newly written song at the time called "Crazy He Calls Me." Billie Holiday's version became very famous. And here's the review from Billboard on that. Former Tommy Dorsey thrush makes an impressive solo debut. Cute tune is stylized in husky-voiced but intimate tones. Husky-voiced but intimate tones seems to be a recurring theme on Unaffected. Let's talk about this quote-unquote cute tune first. I think "Crazy He Calls Me" is such a beautiful melody. I want to do a little demonstration. It has a cascading quality that I love. It starts with an octave leap, a la "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," or probably 10 million other songs. And then it's this beautiful kind of falling, lilting downward melody. Up a little bit. Then the hook, another leap here, and then a beautiful blue note on the word calls. A dissonance. Beautiful. Credit to Carl Sigman, who wrote the music in this song. Lyric by Bob Russell. So let's have a listen to the actual professionals do it. This is Ann Polk, 1950. The band is led and arranged by great composer, orchestra conductor, leader Jerry Fielding. And this is "Crazy He Calls Me," 1950. Enjoy.
I say I'll move the mountains, and I'll move the mountains if he wants them out of the way. Crazy he calls me, sure I'm crazy, crazy in love I'd say. I say I'll go through fire, and I'll go through fire, as he wants it, so it will be. Crazy he calls me, sure I'm crazy, crazy in love, you see, like the wind.
So Ann Polk's solo records were well received by critics, but not wildly popular among audiences. She stuck with the Les Brown Band and had a great run. In fact, Downbeat Magazine, the famous jazz magazine, had a poll 4 years in a row. She was voted favorite, they call it girl singer with band, kind of infantilizing and, misogynistic. But still, 1951 through 1954, she was voted number one in that poll in that category, and also finished in the top 15 among all female vocalists. So in that case, she's competing against the huge stars like Doris Day and Ella Fitzgerald and Peggy Lee and such. Still a great accomplishment. But yeah, her solo career didn't flourish so much. But then she finally broke away and in 1954 recorded her first LP, a 10-inch LP, on a label called Trend, which wasn't one of the bigger ones. But she got to flex her jazzy standard muscle a bit. Let's take a listen. This is with the Dave Pell Octet. This is "It Could Happen to You."
An eye on spring, run when church bells ring. It could happen to you. All I did was wonder how your arms would be.
3 years after this record came out, Lucy Ann Polk reunited with Jerry Fielding. Fielding recorded an album called Fielding's Formula with this great cover. I have it in front of me. It's like a chemistry lab setting, but instead of chemicals, they're pouring like musical notes into a beaker from some test tubes. It's cool. It's one of those classic 50s covers. And the LP is all instrumental, but except this one song called Chicken Road. And here's what Fielding wrote in the liner notes. This is a blues ballad by Joe Green, which to me is one of the most intriguing things ever written anywhere at any time by anyone. The choice of words, almost all of them, is such that it becomes more of a conversation piece than a lyric. I felt that the words on this were so important that I invited Lucy Ann Polk to do this one with us. She does it perfectly as could possibly be imagined. So yeah, this record is way more avant-garde and out there than anything else in Lucy Ann Polk's catalog. And I love it. It's so weird, and the Fielding's arrangement is really interesting and dynamic and surprising. So let's dive into this a little bit. This is Chicken Road, 1957. Get ready for some unexpected stabs of sound and echoey, reverby vocal by the great Lucy Ann Polk. Check it out.
Night so quiet, you could hear a mouse. Tipping through the parlor of the boarding house. Once I got a sunburn on the back of my itching neck. Took a ride with a boy in a Model T and died in a wonderful wreck. Honey, that's Missouri, land that the Lord never knowed. Wonderful time. Chicken Road.
So after this, Lucy Ann Polk recorded her one and only 12-inch LP. And it's called Lucky Lucy Ann, and it was critically lauded and became a bit of a collector's item for jazz fans over the years. It's a great record. You'll notice that this is the first and only record she ever did in stereo, so it'll sound a little fresher. Technology was moving at fast pace in those days. This is Time After Time. I'll leave you here with this song, and just wrapping up, just to know Lucy Ann Polk's the kind of artist who inspires jazz nerds like me to make spreadsheets and such, keeping track of all of her catalog. By my estimation, there are 100 exactly extant recordings of Lucy Ann Polk songs where you can hear her voice as a solo artist. Some of them she's mixed with the group, but there are exactly 100 where Lucy Ann Polk shines. And I think as a devotee of her, I've come up with the name Lapdog as her fan group. Lucy Ann Polk, L-A-P, Lap Dog. I know. So thank you so much for listening. If you're in the Chicago area, this Saturday, June 21st, I will be speaking on a panel at something called Filmscape, which is like a film making conference for folks. I will be talking about music for film and for TV on a panel with some other cool composers. So it's free. You got to register, but come on out and see me for that. And keep fighting the good fight out there, y'all. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks with a new episode of Unaffected. This is one more time, Time After Time, Lucy Ann Polk. Enjoy.
I only know what I know. The passing years will show. But you've kept my love so young, so new. That time after time, you hear me say that I'm so lucky to be loving you.
This has been an Ambivert Media production.